So we are back again. Chelsea won, Arsenal won, and we are live. We are live. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've been there. It's been a while since I've had the man on my right on this channel, Ruham. Great to have you as always. How you doing?
No, it's good. It's good to be back. I've obviously, like you say, it's been a while. It's been 10 months since we've last done a video. So, yeah, excited to be back and have a chat about Arsenal.
Yeah, well, what better way to get started than obviously today? Big game, Chelsea away. To be fair, we've not lost to Chelsea in a while now, and we've had a bit of a bit of favour against them, and we went into this game knowing we needed to win. We needed to win. A win was everything, and we've dropped points. But would you say how would you sum it up? How would you sum up the game?
If you were to ask me if it's a point gained or 2 points dropped, I'd definitely say 2 points dropped. I think with City losing 2 games on the bounce in the league, the fact that we've also won none is a huge missed opportunity, I feel. Because how often are you going to see City lose 2 games on the bounce? I don't think it's going to happen again this season, if I'm being honest. I think it was the opportunity to make some ground on them and obviously make some ground on Liverpool, who look pretty unstoppable at the minute. So, yeah, it's 2 points dropped for sure. I'm very, very disappointed.
Yeah, you mentioned City, and they're in probably the worst form they've been in some years now. And it's not even it's been 4 games, which is crazy. So, but then Liverpool, and I've seen a lot of people saying they're not worried because if it was City that were in Liverpool's position, then they'd be worried. But because it's the other way around, they don't feel that Liverpool will maintain it and whatnot. But I guess you can't really afford to think like that now, because at the moment, from what we do know, they are winning every game. They are genuinely winning every game. They've lost 1 game. Have they drawn a game? They drew to us.
They drew to us.
Yeah, and then in the Champions League as well, they've won every game. So yeah, obviously there's that thing that they might fall off and whatnot. Well, we don't know that, and where we are is 9 points behind them, and same games played. So essentially, we're gonna need to be perfect ourselves till the end of the season.
Yeah,
which
is the last thing you want to be saying in the middle of November. Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. It's the middle of November, and we've played 11 games in the Premier League, and we've dropped points in 6.
Yeah, we've won 5. Yeah,
so we've won 5 and lost 2 and drawn 4, which is for where this club was last season, the season before is a massive fall off. To be honest, it's like 10 games last season was the total amount of games we dropped points, and we've already dropped points in 6 this season, and it's November. So essentially, and we didn't win the league last season either. So essentially, if we wanted to win it, we are gonna have to be pretty much perfect to the end of the season. That means we're gonna have to go to Anfield and get a win. Nothing else would do. We're gonna have to beat City at the Emirates.
Yep.
Then all these other games in between, we just got to win.
There's so many tough fixtures left to come.
I will say, we have had we've had some tough games to begin with. To be fair, we've had Villa away, City away, Spurs away, Newcastle away, Chelsea away. None of them are easy games. We still haven't played the likes of Ipswich. We still haven't played the likes of Brentford, United. All these teams that you can get points from.
We've had a tough start.
We have had a tough start. But if you want to win the Premier League, you cannot be dropping points in 6 out of your first 11 games. That's just that is not Premier League winning.
Irrespective of who you're playing in those games.
Even in the Champions League, some we've won 2 of our games, lost 1, drawn 1.
Yeah.
To be honest, for me, I was always big on winning a major trophy this season, and we still can. Obviously, it's not done, but it's just I don't know if it will happen, and that's where I'm like saying, is that a question that needs to be asked if we don't win that major trophy? Because then it's like, well, it's all this money spent on signings, it's his players, it's everything, and it's just like, well, we're not actually delivering the trophies. And this was like the period where we've come through all the 8th place finishes, whatever. We've fought back, got into the Champions League, competed for titles, and blah blah blah. When's the point where you actually show something? You have something to show for it. You have some trophies to show for it. Teams like this are remembered by the trophies they win, and I can't stress the importance of winning a trophy this season. Premier League, Champions League. For God's sake, give me an FA Cup. That's all.
On the point of at what point does there need to be questions? I'll get to it, but before that, I want to discuss the point you brought up earlier, actually, about how some people are sort of almost downplaying Liverpool and saying, well, they're not City, they're going to fall after. I would hear that if we were seeing any signs of Liverpool falling off. If we were seeing Liverpool sort of, nicking results here and there, barely beating teams, etc., I would hear that and I say, okay, the way in which they're playing, it's not sustainable. They'll eventually fall off. Right now, I don't see any sign of Liverpool slowing down, which is why I will take Liverpool being 9 points clear of us just as seriously as if City were 9 points clear of us. I think it's a very dangerous complacency to have to suggest that Liverpool being 9 points clear of us isn't as big of a threat. And I don't think you believe that either. I think there's a handful of very brain dead fans on Twitter, especially. You'll say, well, yeah, Liverpool won't really do this. They won't really do that. I think a good comparison to draw with the current Liverpool situation is if you were to describe our season 2 seasons ago.
That's exactly what I was
going to say. Winning games.
And people were saying at that time, they'll fall off. Okay, we bottled the league in the end, but I'm saying at the time they were saying that it wasn't relevant because there was nothing to show that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
you have to take
them seriously while they're in this position.
Yeah, I feel the difference with us and Liverpool was we were in that position with a squad of players who had never been near that position ever in their lives, right? Liverpool have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's won a league title, Andrew Robertson's won a league title, Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, they've won league titles at Liverpool. They've won a league title at Liverpool. I feel they won't have the same problems as us. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, I could be wrong, and they could horribly fall apart the same way we did 2 seasons ago. But that I think is something that needs to be sort of discussed. I don't think Liverpool can be dismissed. I do think they'll go on to win the league. And in terms of when does there need to be questions, I completely agree with you. I think, of course, you have to acknowledge the progress 100%. And I think you acknowledge the progress from 2021, we finished 8th, etc.
Yeah. I don't think it's about not acknowledging the progress. I'm not. This isn't me saying Arteta's a rubbish manager and whatever. It's more of a question: has Arteta taken this squad as far as he can, and then is there someone then who comes in and takes them that little bit further, where they do get over the line and win that trophy? That's the question that I think deserves to be put out there. And I think that
if you were to ask me personally, I don't think that it's not something I'm thinking about currently. It's something a position where I'll sort of analyze later on into the season if we're, come April, May time and we're completely out the title race, no chance. Completely, we're out the Champions League, no chance, and we're out the FA. At that point, I agree. I think there needs to be questions asked. currently, I'm looking at the situation in terms of the injuries that we've had. We've had the obviously loads of suspensions, which obviously were self-inflicted, but they obviously haven't helped us. And the start we've had in terms of fixtures, and I'm thinking, is this a blip? Is this something that's gonna be better now that we've got the likes of Erdegaard back? I'd like to give that time to Arteta and to the team before I make any sort of judgments in terms of looking further ahead. But yeah, I agree with you. I think come the end of the season, that we have to analyze a team based on what they win, and if we go trophyless again this season, that's what 4 seasons without a trophy. Not
Well,
acceptable.
it'll be 5
Maybe 3,
years.
5 years. Yeah, 2020 was the FA Cup then. Yeah,
1920.
so, yeah, 1920.
So it'll be 5
Yeah,
years
I
without a
agree. I
trophy.
think questions at that point need to be asked. But like I said, I'm willing to give Arteta and the team that time until we can have a team together and hopefully pull around together.
Yeah, and I think I've seen some people questioning it already. Blah blah blah. It's just I think it's more to do with the fact that they can see from this form or whatever that it doesn't necessarily look likely that we'll go on to do so on and so on, and what ideally is wanted to be done. But I think it's just like we've had all this like past 2 seasons where we've been in the title race and we've kind of gone okay, fine. We've not been in the title race, blah blah blah. And then last season it was, well, we competed all the way till the end, but there's still no trophies to account for it. And it's like, well, I think this is the season where he should be under pressure to deliver.
Yeah, it's a judgment season.
Because
I 100% agree.
Because then if he's not under pressure, then I feel like it just continues, and there's actually nothing that is, because you got to remember it's not just a position. It shouldn't ever be a position where the manager is completely safe no matter what the outcome is.
Mm.
And sometimes I feel like at this football club, there is a tendency for that to be the case with our managers. But I think for certainly, like you said, this should be the ultimate judgment, and we'll see what happens. But as of today, I believe that's our good friend Rudy Black Brown, according to
Cheers, Rudy.
to the name.
Yeah, that's my new gaff. I've got all the money from Big Josh's channel, so yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Going back to today, I think we started the game. There was a slight period in the first few minutes where we weren't really getting out, and I thought we were a bit sloppy. But then we started to play our football, and we had a chance. It was Martinelli who had a chance, and it was a bit of a lackluster shot. Sanchez didn't really struggle to save it.
Actually.
Yeah, and oh mate, that one. Don't get me started on that one. And then we scored that goal with Havertz, which was unfortunately disallowed. But I thought in the second half, up until we scored, we were pretty good, and we were a lot better than we have been, I'd say, in terms of on the ball and
I agree.
how we were playing.
I thought we yeah, you're right. I think we started quite slowly. I think Palmer had a very good shot early on. Gusto should have scored. He missed an absolute sitter. That how we very much got away with that. That Martinelli chance again.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
I think you. What's this?
No, wait. I just did that, and then do you see like I did that, and then like a bubble. What? Are you seeing that?
No, to me, you're frozen. So
no, it's like coming up with like So when I put my thumbs up, it's doing like anyways, just continue.
Yeah. So yeah, the Martinelli chance was a huge chance, which I think he has to take those. There's been a couple of instances where he's got those chances, and he obviously scored in the end to make up for it. I actually thought we responded really well to their goal. I thought after they scored, I was a little bit worried that the floodgates would open, and I thought they'd pile pressure on us. They didn't. I actually thought after they scored, we looked more likely to get the winner, which surprised me because usually, obviously, it's the other way around. The momentum's with the team that equalised. Causes to be positive. I think there was a few good performances out there. I think Odegaard being back was a huge boost. Obviously, he's not up to 100%, but if that's 60% of he's disappeared. Right. Anyways, I guess it's just me now. What do I even do? Okay, I guess I'll just wait.
Am I still frozen?
You don't exist anymore. There's no camera.
What about now?
Still no. It might be me, honestly.
No, it's looking like that on the
stream
YouTube
as well.
Yeah, let me just.
Oh, this is awkward.
Okay, right.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Arteta out. I hear it, but no, I hear it. Why are you Arteta out? Like, why are you Arteta out? Because everyone's got different reasons, but a lot of people are saying just to do with the fact that they just don't see him winning a trophy with us, and they kind of had enough. If it's because of the run of games we've had and the losses, then I don't know, because it's all about how people see it. I'm just saying, for me, it's a case of this season, win a major trophy, or I think you've got to go. But I don't know. Sorry, what were you saying anyway about the game?
Yeah, no. So I was just saying that I think there's causes to be positive. I thought Odegaard being back was huge. Trossard, even though obviously he missed that huge chance at the end, I thought he actually looked a lot better out on the left-hand side, which is really strange considering he's a literal left winger. It's crazy what happens when you play players in their positions. So I thought Merino's cameo, I want to talk about that. I thought Merino was fantastic when he came on. He's come under the cosh a little bit, but I thought he dealt with the pressure very well.
And Rice clearly wasn't right because he looked a bit uncomfortable. Rice wasn't all up to party. I don't think he wasn't on it as he usually.
No, you could tell he was off. You could tell someone was off.
Yeah, and then Merino came on, and he was very cool in the midfield, like when he received the ball.
I just think having a left footer on that side makes us look a little bit more balanced. I think when Calafiori comes in, Calafiori goes into left back. If Merino plays left side a bit, I think that will also boost Martinelli's performances as well. But obviously, we've not seen that yet. We've not seen a full team yet this season. So, yeah. But no, like I said,
today was the closest we've seen to a full team.
Yeah, 2 points dropped, very disappointing because I thought they were there for the taking. I thought we should have won, but yeah, it's not the end of the world, I don't think. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got an international break now, and they say the worst thing you can do is go into that with a loss, which is what we haven't done. Or ideally, going into it with a win, but and then we come back. It's 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And then we've got Forest at home. Obviously, Forest are in pretty good form.
Yeah.
But you would still expect us to win that.
Yeah. Potential banana skin if we mess around, but it is that is no excuses not to win that game for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say we've got definitely a much better run of fixtures than we've had. We've got Forest. We've got
West Ham. I think
we've got West Ham. We've got Sporting away in the on the Tuesday, which will be tough.
Very tough, yeah. Very
Obviously,
tough, yeah.
you've just seen what they've done to Man City.
Mhm.
Then we've got United at home, Fulham away. Fulham away, I'm not necessarily saying is an easy game, but
That was
in
our worst
terms of
performance of the season last season, so I'm not looking forward to that one.
true,
And they're also better
Everton
this
at
season than
home,
they were last season. So
Palace at home, we've
Mhm.
got a better run of fixtures than we've had. I'd say we have been unlucky with the start we've had. And, like, it's crazy because after that City game, you're coming out of that thinking, we've done really well in this run of fixtures we've had, and everyone was feeling gutted with the last minute goal conceded, but the overall was positive. And then it's just like since then, it's just what's happened has been crazy, and we've started with that loss to Bournemouth, and then we've sort of struggled since, but
I
we've
think we've
really got
struggled
to
to
get back
adapt
to winning
to
wins.
the situations. Yeah, we do. Like I said, I don't think it's panic time just yet.
It's too early for it to be panicked.
Causes for concern, sure, but I think fans need to relax a little bit. I think to be a little bit level-headed. I do think I don't think we've adapted well to the situation. And I think that's on Arteta, if I'm being honest. I think Arteta needs to learn how to adapt to injury crisis a lot better than he does. A lot better than what he's been doing currently, because, past few seasons, big injuries, and we've fallen apart. Last
Yeah,
season, we were very lucky with injuries. Last season, we were very, very lucky. Obviously, Timber's injury was horrible
we
in the
had
first
Timber,
game, but
but
other
then
than that, most of our players played 38 games.
it was mainly Timber and Partey, and then
Mhm.
because I remember Partey was barely playing in the first, and then from sort of December he was in the team.
Yeah, but even before Partey came, Jorginho was doing a job there. Rice was doing a job there. Havertz certainly was not doing a job in midfield. We remember that. There are reminiscences of last season, I think, still, in that we're not as fluid as we were the season before. We were having very similar discussion. The dialogue was really similar in that what happened to us from the season before.
If
I
anything,
do think
the
it's
last
worse now,
season
though.
was worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I think it's time to be calm, time to back the boys, and hope coming back from the international break. Hopefully, none of the big boys go to international break. I sincerely hope
Well,
Saka and Rice can rest.
Saka won't be going. Rice won't be going.
Okay, and I don't think Odegaard's going either, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
So
Odegaard's not going. That's confirmed.
yeah, so hopefully we can come back
It's,
and bounce back with a win against Forest.
yeah, and it's like, well, if you look at for me, the way we were playing in 2022-23, from 23-24 in that first period of last season, I think it was worse. The way the change was worse.
Yeah.
I think we're still fairly similar to last season. We've just sort of, there's just been a lot of things that have gone wrong for us or gone against us, and they've all kind of happened in one period.
There's a lot of nostalgia, I think, attached to that season 2022-23, but I feel like a lot of the fans ignore the very blatant problems that we had that season, which was as much as we were more exciting to watch, I think we were far easier to cut through. I feel like that early, especially early on that season, where it was the most exciting football we've probably ever seen as Arsenal fans in our life, certainly.
I just remember it being from the first minute. We were just
first minute, yeah. We were starting very quickly. We were scoring early goals. We were killing teams off, yeah. But you have to think about it. Nobody expected us to be like that season. The season before, we finished 5th. We bottled Champions League completely. Come the following season, we'd just pushed City and we'd finished 2nd. Teams are naturally going to be more reluctant to press against us. Teams are naturally going to drop lower, which means naturally we are going
that
to.
is why, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say
it's like we were good, but like you said, the teams we weren't looked at in the same way. So teams didn't approach us in the same
No,
sort of.
I think teams would have
Yeah.
approached us thinking we can have a go at these, and we just blow them out the water. But then they'd be like, "Wait, what just happened there?" Following season, I feel like teams were a lot more pragmatic against us, which made us, have to find other solutions other than playing the pretty football down the middle.
Well, yeah, and
Zinchenko, I thought, for example, we were playing Zinchenko in the middle, and that was working because we were overloading teams in midfield all the time and controlling games. All of a sudden, teams were getting in behind on the left-hand side, and we were saying, right, Zinchenko's being exposed here. But early on in that season in 2022-23, we weren't having that issue. So I thought teams have approached us differently, which has meant that we've had to adapt, and I don't think we've adapted particularly well this season. But I think it will come. I'm not worried in terms of long term.
it seems like we've literally swapped with Liverpool. We're having their 22-23 season.
Yeah. And they're having our 2022-23 season, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very similar.
But it's crazy because here's one thing I'll say. In January, before we played Liverpool, we were 7 points behind them and they were top.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we finished 5 points above them. So it's never
things can change. I think
yeah.
it's ridiculous to say that the title is over on the 10th of November. I think it's beyond ridiculous to say that, irrespective of the gap. I think
we haven't hit our peak yet. Nowhere near it.
No, nowhere near it. And obviously, like I said, I know I said earlier that I think Liverpool will win the league, but I don't think it's guaranteed. I don't think we're completely out of it. And I don't think City are certainly not completely out of it. So we'll take each game as it comes. I think, international break, if I'm being honest, I think it's come at the right time. I hate international break usually, but I don't mind Rice and Saka having that little 2-week break, not going to England, and Odegaard being able to fully recover as well. So season starts at Forest against Forest.
Yeah. And people remember that run of form we had from what was it like? It was that Liverpool game, and then we lost one game from then to the end of the season. People talk about City having those kind of runs, but we had that run ourselves, and we could very much have something again like that this season. And if we do, who knows where it could take us?
Yeah, 100%. I think it'd be stupid to count that out. I think we're more than capable of doing that. We still have the same squad as last season, basically, but with a few more players. We're yet to see the best of, Calafiori. He's going to come back. I think Marino's going to grow into the team, and I think Marino and Calafiori playing will help Martinelli. Odegaard being back will help Saka. There's so much football to be played. So, we move on from this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no. Like you said, big things hopefully to come, and hopefully we see from the Forest game, it's the start of a big turnaround. And it's, to be honest, we have got to start winning games now, and if we don't, because if this continues, we're lucky it's early, but as every game goes on, it gets more and more important and worse if we don't win and if we drop.
It's really, this little period is very similar to when we lost to Fulham, when we lost to West Ham, and then we lost to Fulham, and then we lost to Liverpool. We lost 3 on the trot, I remember. And the feeling was very, very similar to this, thinking like, where on earth's the next win going to come? And then we beat Liverpool.
After the Fulham game, was the meltdowns were worse than what I'm seeing from this.
Yeah, 100%. They were worse games to lose. And we were awful in those games as well, I remember. Actually, West Ham we weren't awful, but Fulham was the worst.
West Ham was Jesus doing up, missing chances, and we probably
it was also a bit of a defensive masterclass from David Moyes, to be fair. So,
yeah.
Feeling similar, but we went on we'll lose for the rest of the season until Villa in April, so which ultimately cost us the title.
Yeah.
But still.
Well, because we're talking about Liverpool, and they're obviously the team because they're in first place, 9 points clear. But that's also hoping that City don't necessarily come into gear this season, and I don't necessarily think they will. I think there's too much that they've lost already for them to be the same. But that's not
The
me right
Rodri
or wrong.
injuries
I just-
is like, I don't think we can underestimate how huge that is. Yeah.
Exactly, and I think that is a big thing, and that will affect them a lot because obviously they've got De Bruyne coming back now,
Yeah.
but the reason I say it's because of Rodri is because every other player they can replace in some way.
Rodri, they can't.
Rodri they can't, and so
No.
I think that is why
He's the best. He's the best midfielder in the world. So he's the best midfielder in the world.
He's the best midfielder in the world, arguably the best player in the world, most important player in the side.
We can chat about the Ballon d'Or.
I hate him with passion because of It's just. Do you remember the Rodri party Casemiro debate?
Yeah,
22-23.
I do.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, he's rediscovering some of his form party as well. So,
right. I got a question for you.
Go on.
Do we need a striker?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Any names coming into mind?
Gyökeres instantly.
Gyökeres, yeah.
That's it's a bit of a no-brainer. I think that one.
It'll actually be interesting to see how he plays against us.
I know. Use it as a dress rehearsal. Oh, no, I don't think he will come to us, but I would love to have him, especially after the absolute Hall of Shame cameo from Gabriel Jesus today. I know he was out on the right, but my God, that right-hand side looked dead the second he came onto that pitch. Oh my God!
He's like, I don't know what has happened to that man. It's it's just like, if you think about it, three World Cup 2 seasons ago, every single Arsenal fan went into absolute meltdown because he got injured.
Yeah, because
now you don't even want him. Now you don't even want him to come on.
Even when he wasn't scoring goals, he was such a joy to watch play football.
No, because he was never like a goal scorer. He was just
he was never a goal scorer. Yeah, and he did that, and he was so fun to watch. And I get that. A very similar feeling to Martinelli as well, to be honest. Where if I watch highlights of 2022-23 season and I watch them to play, like the pink kit with the wrist
Martinelli against Liverpool,
everything like that
at the Emirates,
and I just watched them both play, and I'm thinking, how are they the same people? How are these the same players? Do you know what I mean? And it's so sad.
Do you think it is genuinely that little change in our system, in our the tweaks that Arteta's made? Do you think it is just genuinely killed them, or do you think it's other factors?
I think Martinelli benefited a lot from having Xhaka there with him.
Because that's what I was going to say. Because Zinchenko would be inverted, Xhaka would sort of be that half winger. So it would allow Martinelli loads more space, and he could make cut-in runs. One thing I noticed he doesn't do now necessarily is make those cut-in runs. He's always hugging the touchline. When he
Martinelli's issue is what he'll do is he'll get the ball, and it's very reminiscent to what Grealish does at City, actually. But obviously, that's his role, so he can't really complain. But Martinelli, he doesn't beat his man anymore, really, as much as before. He doesn't do it with much conviction. He's playing like he's scared of the ball a little bit. I do think he's still playing with a real shortage of confidence because he used to beat players effortlessly. Like, if you just watch his highlights from 2022-23, or even before that, when he played Trent at the Emirates when we lost 2-0, where he would just be fearless. He'd get the ball, and obviously we make jokes about his head down dribbling or not, but he used to work because all he used to do was just run.
Even like you said, he was. I think genuinely the system as well, because he'll get the ball on the touchline, but he'll be so pressed against the touchline. He'll have the fullback right on him. He just is literally just forced back.
Yeah,
he'll get the ball
every single time
and pass it back to Gabriel.
Yeah, every single time, and he did that today as well. I'm happy that he scored a goal. I think he needed it
Yeah,
to score in a big game, and I sincerely hope he comes back from the international, because we were seeing glimpses of the old Martinelli in the City game and the Southampton game when he came on, where we were saying, wow, look, he's beating his man, he's actually dribbling, and that was when he was playing with Calafiori. And I think having an overlapping fullback obviously helps as well, which is what Saka has with Ben White on the other side. Gabriel Jesus, on the other hand, I don't see what we can possibly do to make him the player he was. I just don't think he's playing with any confidence. We would have said that he needs a goal, but he's scored against Preston and nothing's really changed. So concerning. So yeah, to answer your question, we definitely need a striker.
yeah, no, I agree, and it's not necessarily a dig on Havertz, because I actually think Havertz has been a much better in terms of the way he uses his body, and he definitely offers us something that we benefit a lot from having.
Yeah, for sure.
I just think there's just little things that I'd seen. If we had a Gyökeres, if we had, like a gunman, like someone who literally just scores you goals.
He doesn't do anything else, just scores. Yeah.
We can have our backs against the wall. There can be barely anything going for us, and we just have that player who grabs the game by the scruff of the neck and is lethal, and bang. And we haven't really had that since Aubameyang, and since prime Aubameyang.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I don't think we've actually invested in the attack very much at all since we've lost Aubameyang. Really.
Not really. No, obviously Jesus.
45 million on Jesus, and then
45 million. Havertz, who we brought in as a midfielder.
I don't actually know what he brought in as, to be honest. Midfielder. And I think
I genuinely think he brought in Havertz because he thought he could play that Xhaka role.
And that very quickly proved to be not the case.
Yeah, and Merino looks, from what I saw today, like he's probably most likely to be able to replicate anything like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually think he's got plenty of qualities that reminisces what Xhaka used to do, where he used to spray passes about. I actually think Merino's way better under the pressure than Xhaka is, though. I thought Xhaka used to, well, it's not even I thought, we saw it many, many times as Arsenal fans. Xhaka under pressure, 2 men on him, lose the ball. We conceded many goals from those sort of positions. And Merino does that really, really well, and I think Merino will link up with Martinelli very, very well. I would, as much as I think Partey's been good, I would love to see Declan Rice as a 6, Odegaard on the right, Merino on the left as a midfield. I think that'd be really interesting to watch.
I think Partey's been our best midfielder this season. Like, I genuinely think in the games I've watched him, like, his ball retention has been amazing, and he's just like, even in the games where we haven't been good, I've thought he's actually been one of our better players. So I don't know if I could drop him, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we should drop him now. I think, but I do think it's an avenue worth exploring. I think having Xhaka. God, I wish it was Xhaka.
I certainly think having Merino as the left 8 and Odegaard as the 10.
Yeah.
And Rice or Partey as the 6. I think Rice needs to play 6.
Yeah, I agree.
If he's going to play it. Because Rice's role should literally just be winning back the ball and playing it up the pitch.
That's what he does best. That's what he's
exactly. I don't think he's bad. I think he's still a very good player when he's in the left 8. But
yeah, that's just how good he is as a footballer. He can kind of play.
He's way better as the 6. 6 is where he's in his element. And obviously Partey's more of a deep line playmaker. You know, he'll get the ball, he'll turn a player, or his touch will generate space. He is very, very good in that way. I didn't think Ben White was too good today. I thought he was okay. I definitely think if Calafiori's fully fit, then Timber goes to the right and Calafiori plays left back.
Yeah, I don't think Timber is actually very comfortable on the left either, if I'm being honest. I think
No.
I think Timber, he sometimes commits too much, sometimes doesn't commit at all. I don't blame him. He's never played left back in his life, I don't think. I think he looks a bit awkward. He's the best opposite option we have currently, I guess. But I agree. I think Timber needs to go on the right back role and Calafiori onto the left, because I think the best performance we had this season was probably PSG at home, where on the flanks we were looking very, very, very dangerous. And that was with Timber and Calafiori either side. So. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Ben White wasn't bad. I'm actually very surprised Pedro Neto didn't run at him more in the second half, considering he was on a yellow. But Ben White, you know what you're going to get with Ben White. He's quite a steady player, isn't he? So.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and then to be honest, I think for now our attack stays. I don't think our attack was necessarily the issue. I just think we had no creativity whatsoever in midfield.
No, he was trying Trossard in midfield time and time again, and it wasn't working time and time again. So
yeah,
that's my problem with Arteta. I don't think he adapted very well.
No, and now that Odegaard's back, it's looking long for Nwaneri.
I thought he should have played when Odegaard was injured. The way I saw it was, if you're going to get rid of Emil Smith-Rowe, if you're going to get rid of Fabio Vieira when Odegaard's injured, you have to see Ethan Nwaneri as your deputy. If not, why'd you get rid of those two?
Well, Smith-Rowe is having a very, very good time at Fulham right now. And
I just hope he stays fit. I just hope they stay fit. That's all I want. I just want them both to stay fit. Hopefully, Reece can have a good loan spell as well. I don't know if he'll make it.
He's done well so far. That's the thing.
I'd love him to come back and do it, because obviously he is a Haaland boy and whatnot. I just don't think he's in Arteta's plans. But we'll have to see how he does for the remainder of the season, and same with him as Smith-Rowe, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a shame Smith-Rowe is gone completely, but I understand for his career, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, he is having a pretty good season so far at Fulham. He scored on the weekend yesterday. Yesterday he scored. Well. Yeah, very nice score. So yeah, and then I think in January we just need to splash out on a striker.
I agree.
And it'll be interesting to see.
Else, I think I just want a striker.
I don't necessarily think we need anyone else.
No.
If we just got a striker, say if you brought me Gyökeres in January, I'd be over the moon.
Yeah. So that's all we need, I think. I don't think we need anything else, personally.
Yeah. Well, it's. I wouldn't be surprised if we sign no one in January.
I don't think we will sign anyone, if I'm being honest, but you can hope.
Especially because we don't really go out in January and spend lots of money. I mean, last season we got no one.
Season before we got Trossard, Kivior, Jorginho, yeah.
Trossard, that was probably the best January window we've had in a while.
Yeah, I thought they were quite successful signings.
Yeah. I think, Trossard's been an absolute bargain for us. He's not had the best season, but he's still. There's no.
I think he's been misused. So
yeah,
only
exactly.
So much blame I can inflict on him.
Yeah, and then so striker in January is the big one, but we've got important games after the international break. I'd say we've got definitely an easier run of games. It's just whether we can turn this run of form around, and I think we can. We
have to go on one of those runs that we did last season, where we were just winning non-stop. That's exactly what we need to do. And there's no other option. We have to do that. We've left ourselves a big task to win this league. So yeah, we have to do it. Yeah,
and just reading this, if Arteta doesn't win anything this season, there are no more excuses. He must go. Yeah, fair enough. And I don't think necessarily that's a hot take. I think there's a lot of our fans who are of that opinion that if he doesn't deliver this season, then it must be his time to go. And I think that's fully understandable given the time he's had, the money he's spent, and the squad he's got now. I think at a club like Arsenal, You know, there should be pressure on you to deliver. And
Yeah.
the time is now. The time is now. But
Yeah.
Ruhan, we're going to end it there.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is the start of more content, because
Yeah, for
been
sure.
been very inconsistent. Completely my fault, but you know, it is good to get on and talk about things that have been happening, and you know, it's sort of like it's like therapy in a way, you know.
Yeah, it's good to reflect on the games in it. The last thing I want to do is, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, you opening up the intro with, so Arsenal 0, Nottingham Forest 2, Ruhan, what went, like, that's the last thing I want to
Yeah,
see
of
happen.
course.
So hopefully it's a positive one.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for coming on, and thank you
Thanks
for
for having me.
everyone who watched, and yeah, do like, subscribe, share, and hopefully we are back soon. Take care.
Thank you very much, guys.